Hello students, this is your science teacher Shashikala Savant and I'll be taking science 1 for you. Science 1 is a topic dealing in physics and chemistry. Today we will study laws of motion. What is motion? What are the different laws which has been put up by Newton? So we are going to see some equations here to make you understand the topic. I'll try my level best to make it very clear. What are we going to study here in this topic is motion, distance and displacement, acceleration and Newton's law of motion and related equations. So let us see the first part, motion. What is motion? I have put here some examples here. Flight of a bird, stationary train, leaves flying through air, a stone lying on a hill. If you observe this, where will you find presence of motion and where there is absence of motion? So motion means generally what we feel is an object is moving. So flight of a bird, leaves falling through air, this is motion. So here we are dealing with physical quantities. Okay, physical movement, that is motion. An object is getting moved from one place to another. We see the motion of several objects every day. Sometimes we cannot see the motion of an object directly. For example, breathing, circulation of blood in your body. So motion can be visible also, it can be invisible also. You are traveling in a bus. Is the person sitting next to you in motion? Think about it. You are traveling in a bus. So you are sitting in a bus. The person is also sitting next to you. Person is not moving. The bus is moving. So here, when we are talking about motion, we are talking about relative concept. It is related to the observer. If the position of an object is changing with respect to the surroundings, then it is said to be in motion. See, very simple. You are sitting in a train and moving, and you will notice that the trees, the buildings, the cars, the bus outside on through the window, they're moving backwards. So you feel that they are moving. Correct. So for you, the outside objects are in motion. But the person who is standing outside on the road or on the platform will see that the train is moving and you have moved away with the train. So motion depends on the observer. A, an object may be moving for you but stationary for another. An object may be stationary for you but moving for another person. Today we are going to study two new concepts, that is displacement and distance. If you see the some diagrams put here, let us see the first one. I ask you to calculate the distance covered by a person moving from point A to point B. The movement can be anyhow. So the total distance that the person covers from A to B, or the total time required to move from A to B, that is the total distance, A plus B. See this dotted line here. This dotted line here is the shortest path from A to B, that is displacement. Measure the distance between points A and B in different ways. It can be anyhow. You can go straight or you can go in a curved manner. So when you are going in a straight from A to B without, that is the shortest path, that is your displacement. But the total distance covered, you can move from A to B to C. You can move from A, C, D, then come to B. Then how you are moving. See, for example, you have started from your house. Okay, from your house you have gone to your friend's house, and from the friend's house you have gone to school. So your total distance will be what? From your house to your friend's house. Here I have mentioned your Sheetal and Prashant's house. You have gone to Sangita's house, then to school. Correct? So your total distance will be your house, Sangita's house, and school. You can also move from your house to school directly. This is the shortest path. So यहाँ पे from your house to school it is 1300 meters, but if you move to your friend's house, 500 plus 1200, that comes to 1700. This 1700 is the total distance and 1300 is the displacement, the shortest path that you travel. Sheetal first went to friend's house. On her way back, Prashant went straight from home to school. So both were walking with the same speed, but Sheetal took a longer time. So Sheetal covered a total distance of 1700 and Prashant covered a displacement of only, made a displacement of only 1300. What is distance? Distance is the length of the actual path traveled by an object in motion while going from one point to another. You can go anyhow. Whereas displacement is the shortest or the minimum distance between the starting point and the finishing point. Okay. Now look here. Every morning Swarali walks around the edge of a circular field. Okay. The radius of this field is 100 meters. So what is the distance covered here? To calculate the distance covered here, we will calculate the circumference. Circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So 2 into pi into r. So r you will put 100, for pi you will put 3.14. So you will get a distance of around 628 meters. But what is the displacement? She has moved in a circular path. From A, she is moving around the circular path and coming back to A. So displacement is 0. Similarly, look at this car here. The car is going from point A to Q 360 meters. It is coming back 360 meters. So total distance 360 plus 360, that comes to 720 meters. But what will be the displacement? Displacement will be 0 because it has come back to the original position. Okay. We have mentioned two things here, speed and velocity. You are all aware what is speed. Total distance traveled upon total time required. But what is velocity? Velocity is change in displacement with respect to time. What are vectors and scalar quantities? See, where we are measuring direction, shortest path, we said displacement is minimum path. So when we are talking about minimum path or shortest path, it has to show you the direction, no? How it is moving. So this direction will tell you in which way, which side you are going, which through how you are moving, shortest path. So that is a displacement. So in displacement, you are making use of direction. That is why vector quantities are those which show direction. Scalar quantities do not show direction. That is your distance. You can move anyhow. You are not telling the direction in which you can move north, north to south, south to east, east to west, and then go to school. But in displacement, from north to south, that is from your home to school, straight short path. So then here you are indicating the direction. Vector quantities are those which show you the direction, and scalar quantities are free from directions. Which are the quantities? Distance, speed, velocity, time and displacement. Out of these, which is scalar and which is vector? Distance, speed and time are scalar quantity because direction is not important here, whereas velocity and displacement are vector quantity. Distance traveled in a particular direction by an object in unit time is called its velocity. Time can be measured in second, minute, hour. If units are too large, 1 year can also be used. What is the formula we are going to use to measure velocity? Displacement upon time. Okay. This is that example which I had given you in the first page. 500 plus 1000. Here now we are not calculating the distance. We are calculating the speed. How fast Sheetal moves or what time Sheetal requires to reach to school. Sheetal's speed along path A is distance upon time, that is 500 meters upon 5 minutes. So 100 meter per minute. Along path B it is 1200 upon 24. So that comes to 50 meters per minute. Sheetal's average speed will be what? Total distance, no? So 500 plus 1200, that is 1700 upon 29 minutes, that is 586 meters per minute. So what will be her displacement? Her velocity will be displacement upon time, that is 1300 meters upon 29 minutes, that is 44. Sorry, here there should be a point here. 44.83 meters per minute. Let us see the effect of speed and direction on velocity. What will be the effect on the velocity of a motorcycle if the speed increases or decreases but direction remains unchanged? Then in this case, your as your velocity increases, your vehicle will move faster. Velocity decreases, your vehicle will move slowly. In the case of turning around the road, what will be the velocity and speed? Will it remain the same? No, it will change. You have to decrease your speed. If on a turning Sachin changes the direction as well as the speed of the motorcycle, what will be the effect of velocity? Both direction as well as speed changes. Then you have to be very careful. Changing the speed while keeping the direction same, changing the direction while keeping the speed same, and changing the speed as well as the direction. Then in this case, depending on your speed, your direction, you have to control your vehicle. How will you control your speed and velocity here? If it's a straight road, speed and velocity will remain the same, right? It will be just one concept. But when it is around a curved road, then you have to decrease your velocity. Yes or no? Then only you can control your speed. You can take a sharp turn. Otherwise, you will meet with an accident. So, speed and direction will change depending on the velocity. Now, let us study what is uniform and non-uniform linear motion. Uniform motion is covering equal distance in equal interval of time. See here I have got Amar, Akbar and Anthony. All the three are traveling in different cars for different velocity. I'm giving you some reading here. Let's see the timing. Timing is same for all. 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30 and so on. If you see the distance covered by Amar in kilometer, it is 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. So everywhere there is a difference of 20 kilometers. If you see the distance covered by Anthony, 0, 14, 28, 42. Here again there is a difference of 14 kilometers. But look at the distance covered by Akbar. 0, 18, 36, 18. Difference of 18. Then 42, 36. There's a difference of 6. So here Amar and Anthony, distance covered every time, every 30 minutes when it was calculated, the distance covered by was same. But in case of Akbar, it was different. So if an object covers equal distance in equal time interval, that is said to be you moving with a uniform speed. But so Amar and Anthony are moving with uniform speed, whereas Akbar is moving with an non-uniform speed, or we say a non-uniform linear motion. So if an object covers unequal distance in equal time interval, time is not changing, no, the distance covered by him is changing, then it is called as non-uniform motion. The best example here is when you are moving on the road where there is heavy traffic. Okay, we are going to study one concept here, acceleration. For that I have got a small experiment for you. We have to take 1 meter long plastic tube, cut it lengthwise into two halves. So it will form a channel. Now in that we have to place a small ball and release it from the top. Observe the movement of the ball. Is the velocity same at all points? Observe the velocity. Observe how the velocity changes as it moves from the top through the middle and then down. If you look at the ball very carefully, the velocity is not the same everywhere. Its velocity increases as it rolls down. You all play cricket, so you have got a good idea about what I am talking here. How the movement of the ball is when it is thrown into the air. You must have all played on the slide in a park. You know that while sliding down, the velocity is less at the top, increases in the middle, and becomes zero at the end. See, batsman has hit the ball. You are going to catch the ball. Will you catch the ball up above or over your head, mid-air, or lower to the ground? Yes, you will catch it lower to the ground because here what happens? The velocity changes. What is this change in velocity? This change in velocity is nothing but acceleration because it becomes zero towards the ground. This acceleration is change in velocity with respect to time. Here I have to take the initial velocity, which is represented as u. I have to take the time t, it changes, and then final velocity as v. So if I put it in an equation, acceleration is represented by small a. I'll get final velocity minus initial velocity upon time, that is a is equal to v minus u upon t. If the velocity of an object changes during a certain time period, then it is said to have accelerated. Just like you are having a uniform motion, you also have accelerated motion. An object in motion can have two types of acceleration, uniform and non-uniform. If the velocity changes equal amounts in equal time interval, then we will call it as an uniform acceleration. If the velocity changes unequal amounts in equal time interval, then we'll call it as non-uniform acceleration. So we have got three types of acceleration: positive, negative, and zero acceleration. If an object can have positive or negative acceleration. A good example: you are moving your bicycle. The more you pedal fast, the more faster it will move forward. Correct? So this is positive acceleration. You have increased your speed, the object is moving forward. You are applying brake to your bicycle. What will happen? Your bicycle will stop. So this is negative acceleration. So positive acceleration will help the object to move forward, and negative acceleration will help your object to move backward, or it will help it to stop. So when the velocity of an object increases, the acceleration is positive. The acceleration is in the direction of velocity. Direction of velocity means you have given acceleration, it is moving forward only. Then here we call it as positive acceleration. When the velocity of object decreases, you have stopped your bicycle, then it is negative acceleration. Negative acceleration is also called as deceleration. Here direction is opposite to the direction of velocity. Now we have to learn some graphical representation for uniform motion. This is your homework. I have given you the readings, time in seconds and distance in meters. Plot the points. The x and y axis are given to you. Plot the points and see what happens. Join the points. You will see, you will get a straight line graph here passing through 0. So here for uniform motion, always remember you will have a straight line graph. An object in uniform motion covers equal distance in equal time interval. Thus the graph between distance and time is always a straight line graph. The second one is for a non-uniform motion. Again plot it like the first graph. You will see you will get a curve. For non-uniform motion, you will never get a straight line graph. Okay. Now we'll see the velocity time graph. The velocity time graph for uniform velocity. Here I have given you a train is moving with a uniform velocity of 60 kilometers per hour for 5 hours. I plotted the time here on the x-axis and velocity on the y-axis. It is moving constantly at 60 kilometers per hour for 5 hours. Correct? With the help of this graph, how will you determine the distance between the train between 2 to 4 hours? You have to represent this distance movement of the train. The second, is there a relation between the distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours and area of a particular quadrangle in the graph? What is the acceleration of the train? So you have to do some calculations here. Let us see what the calculations are. Okay. In the first case, distance covered by the graph. What will be the distance covered by the graph here? Distance covered is velocity into time. So 60 into 2, that is going to give me 120 kilometers. Straight representation. Okay. Then the second part is there a relationship between distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours and the area of a quadrangle ACDB or ABDC? ABDC is a rectangle. So what will be the distance here? Length into breadth. So that is 60 into 2. Again 120 kilometers only you are getting. Acceleration will be final minus initial. Final is also 60. Initial is also 60. So 60 minus 60 upon 2, that is 0. So acceleration is 0. See, everything is given to you in this question. 60 kilometers per hour for 5 hours. It is moving at a constant velocity. So your acceleration final also is 60, initial also is 60. So 60 minus 60 upon 2. Distance of 2 for 2 hours, no, 2, 4 minus 2. So that is going to give me 0 meters per second square. Okay, velocity time graph for a car in specific time interval is given to you. Here the time is given and seconds is given and plotting is done for you. Now look at the question. The velocity changes by equal amounts in equal times. Thus, this is uniformly accelerated motion. Look here. 0 to 8, 8 to 16, difference of 8, 16, 24, again difference of 8, 6, 24, 8, 32, again difference of 8. So the velocity here is constant. So the velocity changes by equal amount in equal time interval. So it is a uniformly accelerated motion. How much does the velocity change every 5 minutes? By 8 meters per second. Correct. For all uniformly accelerated motion, the velocity time graph is a straight line, just like uniform motion. For non-uniform accelerated motion, the velocity time graph may take any shape. It can be a curve going from down to up, or it can be a curve going from up to down. If we calculate the distance covered by the car in the 10th and the 20th second, this is what you are going to get. Okay. You have to calculate the average velocity of the car, 32 plus 16 upon 2, that is going to give me 24 meter per second. Multiplying this by the time interval, that is 10 seconds, because 5 plus 5 na, so distance covered will be 24 into 10, that is 240 meters. Or you can also do this by taking the area of the rectangle. Okay, so you have got a rectangle and a square and a triangle. So put them in the formula, you will get the calculation as 240 meters. Okay. Equations of motion using graphical method. Now Newton studied motion of an object and gave a set of 3 equations of motion. These are related to displacement, velocity, acceleration and time. Suppose an object is moving in motion along a straight line with an initial velocity u. it attains a final velocity v and time is t. Acceleration is given as a, displacement is given as s. We have to study three equations. The first one is giving relation between velocity and time, which is v is equal to u plus at. The second equation gives a relation between displacement and time, that is s, that is a displacement, is equal to ut plus half at square. And the third equation gives relation between displacement and velocity, that is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Let us study these through graphical method. Okay, here I have plotted for you the graph. This shows the change in velocity with respect to time of a uniform accelerated object. The object starts from point D. So we are not starting from 0. We are starting from point D. That means some distance have already been covered by the object. So we are starting from point D on the graph, and it is moving with a uniform velocity. Its velocity keeps on increasing till it reaches time t and it reaches point B. So this is what is your velocity on this line. Initial velocity is u, that is represented as OD because starting point is O. So we have to take that into consideration. But since we are measuring the velocity from point D, so we have to take it as u is equal to OD. Final velocity is B, correct? Your final velocity is represented by V, that is OC, from O to C. Acceleration is change in velocity upon time. What is the time here? Time here is OE, the distance covered, this much. So OC minus OD upon T. Now OC minus OD upon T. OC minus OD is nothing but CD. CD is what? CD is nothing but your acceleration. Correct? Draw a line parallel to y-axis passing through point B. Parallel to y-axis passing through point B. It will cut the x-axis in point E. This is the point E. Draw a line parallel to x-axis on point D. It will cut line BE in point A. Now from this graph we have got BE is equal to AB plus AE. Correct? Now look at this. This BE is nothing but CD. Right? So AB is nothing but CD and AE is nothing but OD. Correct. So V is equal to CD plus OD. So V is nothing but AT plus U. From where we got CD? Look here. OC minus OD. OC minus OD is nothing but CD. CD we are going to put here. CD is equal to AT. So your V is equal to CD is equal to OC minus OD upon T. Right? So if I put this OD on the left hand side, it will become CD plus OD. So V is equal to AT plus U from equation 1. So this is your first equation of motion. The second equation of motion is giving a relation between displacement and time. Suppose the object is in uniform acceleration A and it has covered a distance S within time t. Distance covered by the object during time t is given by this quadrilateral D, O, E, B. This whole thing. D, O, E and B. Correct? Now, what is the displacement here? Displacement is the area of this quadrangle. Okay, or quadrilateral. यहाँ पे I have put dotted lines so that I will get an area of a rectangle DOEA plus area of a triangle DAB. So if I put the formula, area of a rectangle is length into breadth, so AE upon OE, and area of a triangle is half base into height. So substituting these values here, I will get S is equal to UT plus half AT square. TT 2 times, so T square. Correct? Let us go to the third equation. The third equation same figure only we are going to see, but here we are going to consider this whole quadrangle DOEB. This is a trapezium. Don't see the dotted lines. DOEB. This is a trapezium. So displacement given is area of the trapezium, and for area of a trapezium we have half into sum of the lengths of parallel sides into distance between the parallel sides. So OD plus BE into OE. This, if you substitute the value, you are going to get half into U plus V into T. A is nothing but V minus U upon T, right? So if I take T up here and bring A down here, we are going to get V minus U upon A. So S is equal to half into U plus V into V minus U upon A. That is A plus B, A minus B. So that is going to give me V square minus U square. Put this 2A to the left hand side. So you'll get 2AS V square minus U square. Keep your V square here. Bring the U square to the left hand side. You will get V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. So we have seen Newton's first law of motion, second law equation for motion, and third equation for motion. Now we'll see something as uniform circular motion. When Earth is moving around the sun, it's a circular motion, right? Uniform circular motion. What happens to the speed and the displacement? Some figures are given to you. If you are going around a square path, you are changing a direction how many times? 4 times. So you are changing a velocity also. In a pentagon, in a hexagon. Similarly, when you are moving in a circular motion, when the object is moving with a constant speed along a circular path, the change in its velocity is only due to the change in direction. Hence, it is an accelerated motion. When an object moves with constant speed along a circular path, the motion is said to be a uniform circular motion. It is given by the formula speed is equal to circumference upon time. Circumference is taken as 2 pi r upon t. R is nothing but the radius of the circle. Now, this is a small experiment that is being carried out to tell you how direction of velocity is determined in a uniform circular motion. So you have got a rotating disc. You keep a 5 rupee coin here and you move the disc and see what happens. The coin will be thrown off in the direction of tangent, which is perpendicular to the radius. So it will fly perpendicular to the radius. So the radius is measured like this. The direction is moving like this. The direction in which it gets thrown off depends on its position at the moment it is thrown out along the circular path. So we have ended one session here. In this session we have studied uniform motion, non-uniform motion. We have studied accelerated motion, uniform accelerated motion, non-uniform accelerated motion. We have studied some concepts like distance, displacement, velocity and speed, and 3 equations of Newton's law of motion. Okay, I hope you have understood. You have any doubts, it will be clarified in the next session. Thank you.